Okay, so we're with Effie's litter. G'day Effie, come and join us. Euphoria. No one can see what's going on there. They haven't got the locomotion the others have, as you can see they're still crawling around. Their eyes aren't quite open yet either. There's a 3 days difference between them. But they're not far off it. Weight wise, they're a little bit lighter, which is what you'd expect, even though she's only got 4 to feed here. Hello. But they're reasonably calm. Not quite. You can see they're a little bit frozen there. Not quite as good as the Kuma litter, but there again, 3 days is a lot in a puppy's lifetime, so we've got plenty of time to work on that. We're just about where we want to be. They accept touch. Oh, a little bit more vocal. Hello, you. Hello. And again, we've got a good consistency going on in size and everything else coming on here. And that's what it's all about for us. And then, of course, you've got the temperament. And there's a very, very little difference in the 2 litters when it comes to the handling and the touch. A little bit more excited than the Kumas, but as I said with Effie, what I want to do is do a heavier handling, but because Effie had her problems right at the beginning, we were softer to start with, so we have to catch up with that, but we're not too far off now. So, and in 3 days, which is massive in a puppy's lifetime, that's the difference between the 2 litters, we'll be at the same level as Kuma's litter at the end of the day. Alright, Effie, no one wants to see your bum, no one wants to see your head. And then the consistency is there, and that's what it's about really. You often hear the word pick of a litter or the runt of a litter. If we're doing our job properly, you don't get that. You have litters to pick from, and that's what I hope we've achieved here and with the other litter. That's the essence of pedigree breeding. That term, pick of a litter, the runt of a litter, it's an indication that you're doing something wrong in reality. You have litters to pick from. That's the way it should be. And of course there's going to be slight differences between the puppies as they grow older and everything else. And it's that what we select for if we're breeding. But there won't be that bigger differences. That's what it's about. It's about consistency and conformity. And that's what we're aiming for all the time. That's the challenge of the standard, is that consistency and conformity. It's the discipline that's behind it all. And it is a discipline. It's not just a description, the standard, it is a discipline. And that's why we work with the puppies as well. We've got a puppy test. We want the puppies to pass at a certain level so that we've got a conformity and a consistency in behaviour. Now, of course, the genetics in puppies is different, so they do act differently, but not to a huge extent. There will be some that are more keen than others, but not to that huge extent, but they all have the potential to be turned on, as it were, and moved up or down. And I'm going to, during the year, put together a thing about puppy testing and do a whole thing, and you'll see, this is going to be during the year, it's going to take time, put together a few of the puppy tests we've done and put them down so you can see the differences and the consistencies, because it's the consistencies that we're going for, not the exaggerations. And it's the same when we're choosing our males for our females and vice versa. It's the consistencies, it's the similarities rather than the exaggerations that we're choosing for. It's moderation in everything we're doing. Well, that's the basis of it, and that's the basis, I believe, of successful pedigree breeding, is moderation and the similarities rather than the exaggerations all the time. And you have to guard yourself against that, because you can get carried away. But that really is the essence of, for us, of the standard of pedigree breeding. That's what we follow, that's our principles. Hey, again, a nice consistency in both morphology and temperament, and each generation it just reinforces itself, and then it gives us more choice, funny enough. Rather than fixing us, we have more choice. when it comes to choosing mates, etc., etc. Not restricting us. It gives us far, far more variation, and that variation we can make consistent. If you know what I mean. It's sort of it's opposite, but it is what it is. That's what we're doing here, and I'm very, very happy with both litters. We're at extremely good level with both at the moment, and yeah, and they are tomorrow. They are 2 weeks of age, so they're 13 days today. As I say, there's 3 days difference between the two litters, and as you can see, when it comes to the eyes, when it comes to the movement, we're not quite there yet. We're not quite there on the touch either, a little bit. No, you're just asleep. Ah, you got one. There goes the consistency I was talking about.